Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham in Washington. Let's get right to the angle. Let me tell you what we're not going to get used to in the United States as the new normal, or dismiss as a one-off or just another senseless act of violence. When a jihadist games our immigration system, gets a green card, rents a truck, and in the name of Allah mows down innocents in a major American city. That is not, nor will it ever be, acceptable in the U.S., particularly when it's preventable, as this act of terror may have been. Like clockwork, the platitudes are flying from city officials.
Is an international symbol of freedom and democracy. That's what we are, and we are proud of it. That also makes us a target for those people who oppose those concepts.
Of course, New York is susceptible to attack, duh. Every city is susceptible to attack. Those words mean nothing. We want action from elected officials to keep this country and cities like New York safe. And listening to this makes me think of the mass Islamic resettlement in Europe. We saw terror attacks in Barcelona, Paris, London, Manchester, on and on. Now, do you remember what we heard from Polish Prime Minister Beata Szydło last summer after the truck attack in Manchester, England? She said the following: "Do we want politicians who claim we have to get used to attacks or who describe terrorist attacks as incidents? Or do we want strong politicians who can see the danger and fight against it efficiently?" Well, I know one politician who saw the danger. Back in August of 2016 in Youngstown, Ohio, candidate Donald Trump had this to say about radical Islam.
Nor can we let the hateful ideology of radical Islam, its oppression of women, gays, children, and non-believers be allowed to reside or spread within our own countries. We must use ideological warfare as well, very important, and they use it on us better than we have ever even thought of using it on them, but that will change. Just as we won, thank you, just as we won the Cold War in part by exposing the evils of communism and the virtues of free markets, so too must we take on the ideology of radical Islam.
After he was elected, President Trump issued an executive order to temporarily halt travel from countries of concern and crack down on illegal immigration. For that, he was branded as cruel and heartless. You know what's cruel and heartless? Bikers and pedestrians run over in broad daylight in a major American city. That's cruel and heartless. Trump's instincts about what it takes to secure the homeland are correct. Protect our borders, deport lawbreakers, build a wall, halt refugees from certain countries given the severity of the threat. These are common sense solutions. So far, here's what we know. The slime that took 8 lives today is a radicalized Uzbek. He got a green card through the diversity visa program, according to my sources. You know what Donald Trump proposed in his immigration reform priorities to Congress a few weeks ago? The president expressly asked for the elimination of the diversity visa program that grants 50,000 green cards annually at random through a lottery. It's a total scam. Tonight, I'm also thinking of those activist lower court judges, like those 2 Obama appointees who just weeks ago ruled against the president's travel bans, calling them anti-Muslim. Though Uzbekistan was not on the list, it should be. I'd love to ask Judges Derek Watson and Theodore Schwang, is it now time to restrict who comes into our country? Shouldn't we now make sure that all visitors or U.S. visa holders are not a threat to our citizens? Throughout the campaign, President Trump warned about the refugee flow into the United States, which is why so many were shocked this month when he agreed to permit 45,000 refugees into the country. We're apparently doing extreme vetting on them. I asked General Kelly exactly what that meant last night. Okay, now how are we extreme vetting? What is extreme vetting?
Extreme vetting is we simply interview people and have to satisfy ourselves that the person we're talking to is indeed the person who they claim.
It's pretty tough to do in some cases. There are no records.
And frankly, impossible to do in some cases.
So they won't come in then. If you can't really verify that, they're not coming in.
If we can't verify, I don't think we should let them into the country.
President Trump was elected in large part, because voters appreciated his no-nonsense pragmatism on issues like homeland security and immigration. Although we can't stop all terror attacks in the United States, the safety of the American people demand that we do what we can to stop those attacks that are preventable. 9/11 should have made it obvious to everyone that Islam has a hideous radicalization problem. Donald Trump put the onus on Muslim leaders on his first foreign trip to get their houses in order and reform from within. Here at home, we should not lose one more American life because politicians don't have the nerve or the will to do what's necessary to secure the homeland. Our safety is their primary responsibility, and that's the angle.